Guys, Robert Griffin back from dislocated ankle for the first time in, what, 6 games? Just give you your general impressions on how he looked. Neil, why don't you take that one off the top?
He looked good to start. I mean, he started off 6-6, but then everything started to go downhill from there. He had that interception at the end of the first quarter, which seemingly turned the game and allowed the Vikings to get their first points on the board and take control. He looked okay. I mean, he was running around. He had a great scramble, evading some defenders. So, like most of his career, it was some good, some bad, but nothing great or terribly terrible.
Dan, you thought that he didn't look as fast as he has before as a runner?
Let me first play stat boy for a second. The interception was at the end of the first half, I think.
What did I say?
First quarter.
First quarter.
And yeah, I think that there's the 2 throws that everyone's going to remember is that the interception and the miss to Garcon at the end of the play. But yeah, I think that, I mean, the read option was obviously back in the game plan more than it had been with Colt McCoy or Kirk Cousins, but you know, he can't really turn the corner the same way. It was effective a couple times, and it seemed to open a little bit more holes for Alfred Morris, who had a season high in rushing. But there doesn't seem to be a threat that Griffin's going to turn the corner and go all the way in the end zone or get like a game-changing play. The game-changing plays that he made, there was a couple where he got away from pressure in the pocket, and there were a couple beautiful deep throws to Deshaun Jackson. For whatever we all want to say about Griffin as a passer, man, he can throw a beautiful deep ball. And the ones with Deshaun Jackson, I mean, it doesn't seem to matter who's throwing to Deshaun Jackson.
No,
he
it's
catches
hard
anything.
to throw Deshaun Jackson.
But he's leading Deshaun Jackson.
Those are some really nice balls. You know, I don't know that it all went downhill after the beginning, but I mean, I think when the game was over and you look at his performance, you probably say like maybe B minus, something like that. Okay. Certainly not game break. Like certainly not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but it's first game back.
Just as a refresher, here were numbers. Here were Robert Griffin III's numbers: 18 for 28, 251 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, rushing 7 attempts, 24 yards. Scott, what were your impressions of RG3's first game back?
I think like we talked about Sunday, and like Neil and Dan have said, it was kind of a mixed bag. He certainly made some throws that Colt McCoy and Kirk Cousins, we haven't seen them make this year. He extended some plays that Colt McCoy and Kirk Cousins don't have the ability to do. But like Dan said, the 2 plays that stick out, if I go to the one at the end of the game, the 4th and 6, where he's rolling to his left and Pierre Garcon is coming across the middle of the field, you talked about his unwillingness to run. I think a couple of years ago, we'd see Robert Griffin take off there and pick up the first down, if not go all the way for a touchdown like we saw him do against the Vikings a couple of years ago. And yet he instead throws off the back foot. I think it's probably in his head, the ankle injury. It's in his head that he's got to be more of a pocket passer now, and he throws it in the dirt, and the game's over.
Does he get the benefit of the doubt at all that he's missed a bunch of games, that he's kind of working his way back? Does he get any slack for that?
I think absolutely. First of all, you're not totally sure where his health is. Yeah. You know, probably not 100%. So I think certainly he gets some benefit of the doubt for that. And I think regardless of whether he gets the benefit of the doubt performance-wise, they put up 26 points on the road against a decent defense.
You should win. In the NFL, if you score 26, you should win most games.
I mean, he knows why we're talking about him. Everyone understands why we're talking about him. But that loss is more on the defense than it is on him.
Yeah.